Usually, there's only one way to get this view of St. John's, a way that most of us would never dare. For ironworker Gene Lewis, this is just another day at the office. The only difference is the camera on his helmet. For months, Lewis has worked on Memorial University's massive new core sciences facility. Every day, the building gets a little bigger, and Lewis's office gets a little higher off the ground. Now the job is nearly done, and Lewis is working at the very top, a dizzying 40 meters above the street. What does it take to stand in these boots?
Have no fear up there, you know what I mean? Just don't think about falling.
Or how about climbing hand over hand up a 50-meter ladder, then taking control of a gigantic machine?
When somebody finds out that you're a tower crane operator, what's the usual reaction?
I wouldn't do that. Right?
Or how about taking control of the biggest construction project in the history of Memorial University?
I come in early every morning and I drive by the site, and every night I drive by the site on the way home, and sometimes I just stop and look, and when you've had a hard day, this makes it all worthwhile.
To do these things takes skill. It takes preparation, experience, and guts. But most of all, it takes nerves of steel. In summer 2017, Memorial University began transforming a parking lot into a state-of-the-art education and research facility. With dozens of workers and 2 massive tower cranes, the structural steel was installed piece by piece. Now, less than a year later, the building's skeleton looms over the campus. 6 a.m. Tower crane operator Gary Lewis is one of the first workers on site. The steel crew can't do much until he's in his place. But there's only one way to get there. A ladder 50 meters tall.
I was actually nervous of the heights when I first started tower cranes. The first tower crane went up, I went right to the highest part of it and jumped all around it and didn't move, went out, flipped, jumped. Okay, this is good. Not jumped off, but jumped on it, you know. Bounced it around, right? Said, okay, it's all good. I can do this.
Lewis climbs in the frigid morning air. He inspects the crane as he goes, stopping here and there to break away buildups of ice. He can already look down at the roof of the Health Science Center, but he's not at the top yet. When Lewis scales the final rungs, he's out of breath, but his reward is the best view in the city. He can see over the construction site, over the entire MUN campus, and the whole Central Valley of St. John's, all the way to the Narrows. He doesn't savor it for long. There's work to do. Once Lewis is inside the operator's cab, he won't come down for the next 12 hours. Soon after, the rest of the construction crew arrives on site, including ironworkers Ed Roach and Gene Lewis. He's the one wearing the camera. Roach and Lewis are heading up on the high steel, but they don't have to climb the ladder. Instead, Gary in the tower crane gives them a lift. It's not your average commute, and again, the view is incredible. But once they step out of the man basket, there's no more railing to hold on to.
You are strapped in, I assume.
Yeah, I'm in a harness, and so if I fall, I'm going to just bring up the harness, which wouldn't be cool either, so I don't want to do that.
His harness is tethered to 2 safety lines, but connecting those is up to him. Watch that first step. To move from one beam to another, Lewis has to disconnect one of the safety lines. Then he reconnects the free line to the other side of the crossbeam. One line at a time, Lewis and Roach make their way to an unfinished section of the roof.
What's a typical day at the office like for a high steel worker?
We're pretty much hanging out up at the top and putting in steel. Crane will bring it up to us and we connect it, a few bolts, safe it out, go for another piece.
One at a time, they go up to the boys that connect in place, and eventually, poof, voila, we got the end product, right?
At ground level, the riggers ready a piece of steel, then Gary Lewis starts hoisting it up. It's a tricky lift. First, he has to keep the load inside the construction zone, never out over the road.
And come in on your east side there, Jed.
He has to coordinate his moves with the site's other tower crane. And hardest of all, he has to deliver the swaying steel into the connector's waiting hands. The job is called connectors because that's what they do, connect the steel beams to the structure. Another crew will come behind to secure the beams. Lewis and Roach just have to get them attached.
Sorry, hold it.
Okay, hold on.
Up a touch.
I'm John there, Gary, honey.
All right.
When the position is just right, Lewis jabs a special wrench through the aligned holes, skewering both beams. Then he fastens them with a few nuts and bolts. He does all this while balancing on the narrow steel, but he can't get distracted or nervous. He has to be certain he's done the job right.
You good?
Because the last step is for Lewis to walk out onto the beam he just connected and detach it from the crane hook. How do you keep from falling up?
I guess, I don't know, just hold on really tight. Know your footing, like know your surroundings. You got to be on your toes up there. Like you really got to be on your game.
It's a very, very complicated thing, but it's a lot of fun. It's my third large project of this size, and it's exciting. You know, you take a piece of ground, and all of a sudden, something like this comes out.
Leading the project from the ground is Ann Brown, Memorial's Associate Vice President of Facilities. Brown has spent decades in construction management. She built a skyscraper in New York and was lured here from Queen's University for the chance to work on this building.
It's a very complex building. As soon as you start getting into laboratories, you're not building offices, you're not just building regular classrooms, you're building labs, you're building fume hoods, you're putting in mechanical systems that have never been used in this province before.
When it's finished, the core science facility will be Memorial's new crown jewel. 500,000 square feet in size, housing nearly all of MUN's scientific research. The ultra-modern design still has some distinctly Newfoundland touches, exterior walls that echo the shapes of icebergs, and the 25-meter skeleton of a blue whale that washed ashore in Rocky Harbor, hanging from the ceiling. In this province, there's a long history with high steel. In New York, it was once said that Newfoundlanders, their sons and grandsons, made up a quarter of all the iron workers in the city. They were considered some of the best in the world.
We got some of the best operators around. I mean, everyone, best iron workers, everyone chips in at the end of the day.
Superintendent Jeff Whalen says they're still the best, but this project has helped keep more iron workers at home.
It came at a good time because all the big boom is over now here in Newfoundland. So this job really helped out a lot of people, and not just iron workers wise, but all trades, because like there's no more Long Harbor or Hebron or none of that, so it came at the right time to help a lot of people.
Now, with the steel complete, the scale of what's already been accomplished is clear from kilometers away.
You don't see jobs like in Newfoundland like this very often, like, you know what I mean? It's going to be pretty cool to tell my kids about and like something cool to be a part of.
But as cool as this is, the story of this building is just beginning.
With a science building, the exciting part about it is you never know what's going to happen here. You could find a cure for cancer, you could discover different things. It's just one of those exciting things, and when we build these, we build for the future.
Zach Gowdy, CBC News, St. John's.